So we're here today down at Fortuna in Lymington town, and we're just going to go out with the Rigiflex 360 and the Temo 1000. And David Ellis is just going to take us through a quick summary of the motor and show us how it can fit onto the back of the boat nice and simply.
Oh, thanks, Algie. So this is the Temo 1000 outboard engine. It's a 1000 watt, so equivalent to around 3.5 horsepower. The motor itself weighs 10 kilos, and then the battery, which you'll see here, is worth another 5 kilos, so that's 15 kilos in total. It's got some really nice design features on it. You'll notice, first of all, the rudder style shape profile. This means it will steer really well at low speeds, so you don't have to rush into the dock or the pontoon. You can really do a careful docking. There's some other nice features as well. It's got a retractable tiller, which we'll show you later on. In addition, what I'm going to show you now is the mounting bracket, which is really ingenious. So the Temo bracket is really innovative. First of all, it just clamps like any normal outboard bracket would do on the back of the tender or boat, but you'll notice that it rotates, and that means you can mount the outboard from inside the tender to avoid any risk of potentially dropping it over the side when you're doing it. So I'll demonstrate that now for you. So here is the outboard, and I'm just going to literally mount it like that, clip it in, and then you can literally just twist it around, drop it in, and you're ready to go. And
particularly doing that without the battery in is even more straightforward.
It's 10 kilos, that's all it is. It's very easy to do. So you've got that locked on the back. This little lever internal here, this one at the back, that steps the outboard up, so you can step it as you go up, but also it's a reverse lock when you push it forward when it's fully down, so the outboard won't kick up in reverse. The other little features on this bracket is you'll see this little lever here. So if you lock that in the middle, like so, then you have no steerage either way. It's just locked centrally. So if you're on a small sailboat with its own rudder, it means you can just literally control the engine and steer with the rudder as normal. Okay?
Fantastic.
So once the outboard is in situ, you can then apply. The battery itself is 5 kilos, as I said earlier. The connectors are fully waterproof IP67 anti-corrosion, so that's both on the battery itself and also in the outboard. So there's no cables to connect the battery at all, so you don't have anything to snag or break or to handle with cold hands whatsoever. The other thing you'll notice on the battery is this plug here, and that's the charging point. Again, all completely IP67 waterproof rated. So the beauty of a cassette battery is you can just simply drop it in to the outboard like so, and now it's in situ. Okay.
And there's no locking key for it. It doesn't need that. You don't have to do anything else. It's literally slide it in.
Slide it in and it connects up.
Fantastic.
Okay. And at that point, you're ready to apply the kill cord. So, which is a magnetic kill cord, as you can see here, the blue disc.
There we go. Yeah.
And that literally just goes directly in there.
So that's on the underside of the little tiller there. Cool.
Okay. And then you can turn the outboard on.
So battery first.
Battery first.
And then if we just see, we've got the indicator.
See the lights come on there.
And what's the capacity of the battery?
Very good question.
We'll come back to that. It's just about a kilowatt, isn't it? Is it just over?
940.
Okay. So what's the capacity on the battery?
940.
940. Okay, great.
When the battery is connected and pressed on, and then you just switch on display, and you'll see the amount of battery left, which is 99% in this case, the amount of wattage we're using, and then the run time we have left, which is obviously no data at the moment because we're not actually going anywhere.
So at the moment the battery is just flashing on one light?
Correct.
Yep. And what's that indicating for people?
It just means it's on.
It's ready to go.
Yeah, so your battery level is on there, which is 99%. Okay.
And do those lights go down as the battery diminishes on the battery as well?
So when you take it out, you'll see you'll have 4 for full, 3, 2, 1.
Fine. So that helps you when it's not in the motor to see what it is. Perfect.
Yeah, yeah. And then obviously it takes about 5.5 hours to charge from empty to full.
Okay.
Okay. On a mains charger or a 12-volt charger.
Okay.
There's either or.
And can we put any solar charging onto it at all?
Not directly, but you can through, obviously, if there's an intermediary that you're charging,
or
yeah,
whatever.
then you
Fine.
can, but not directly into the actual battery itself.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so we're basically ready to go. So we've got the little clip down here out so that we can move the motor. So let's just see the motor moving when you take the tiller out, so we can just see the steering and how easy that is.
So this is the steerage there. Very simple, just a tiller operation.
And can the motor be run with the tiller actually inside the housing?
Yes, you can run it as I showed here, and it will just like that.
And yeah, that's great.
Yep.
Yep. So that can be out of the way. That can be locked down here.
Yeah.
So it's really taking up no space on a little keel boat or similar.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's really great. Okay. Right. Well, let's get ready. We're going to go out for a good run.
Yep.
So if we just have a look around, we are in an ice-filled Rigiflex 360, and we're going to head out from Fortuna Pontoon. It's a lovely day, although quite chilly, and we're going to head out to the starting platform.
Yeah.
And we'll just go up there and back, and that'll give a bit of an indication for what people might want to use it for on the little keel boats, and give us an idea of range. We'll probably just sit at, should we just do it half power all the way or something like that? And we'll do it we'll vary it a bit to get some speed readings, and we'll obviously do all the usual GPS tracking. Yeah. Fantastic. We'll get ready to go. So for the power control, it's just a standard twist grip like you'd expect.
Standard, exactly as you'd expect. So you got reverse, forward.
Excellent. And so we've got that locked in, so we've got the reverse lock in place. Yeah. But normally we'd have that released so that if you ground, then it'll just lift up.
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can do that. Although in reality, it will lift anyway because the reverse lock is holding it the other way.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't really need to worry about that too much.
No problem. Okay, well I'll just untie and then let's head off.
Brilliant.
So we'll just go along in reverse a little bit, and we can see here with the reverse lock in, the motor's not picking up, and it makes for super simple steerage even in reverse. And then if we just go straight into forward from reverse, it just goes through the middle, get a little bit of power, and away we go. So the height's adjustable on this as well.
Yeah, so one of the beauties of this design is there's a track design here, okay, and that enables you to go all the way up and down on the shaft here, so you can get the shaft length exactly as you like it. Okay?
Fantastic.
So a lot of outboards sell short, medium, long lengths. This is just one length, but you have all the flexibility you need within that one length.
Perfect.
To do your tender or your sports keel boat if it's mounted higher on that.
So you could go out on your tender using it, adjust it, whack it onto your sport boat.
Correct.
Go out, do what you want, come back, swap it over again very quickly.
Exactly the right depth then for both boats. You're not compromised either way around.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just coming up past the ramp at the Royal and Lymington Town, and we're doing about 2.6 knots according to this. We'll look on the GPS full track, and we'll just take this as a note as we're just going past here. There's a bit of noise from the ferry, but not any noise from the motor, of course. So at the moment, what are we doing? 120, 130 watts?
Yep, correct. Yep.
So let's just zoom in a bit on that so people can see it.
So you can see what changes as I adjust.
Let me just. So if you just do a little bit of variation there, and we can see how that then is also changing the range in time as well. So if we sit at about 200 watts, and then we'll just see what speed we're getting. How's that?
We are,
It's only close enough, it'll do.
yeah, we're 200 now.
Okay. So we're just coming up, just gone past Dan Brand. So we're doing about 200 watts. And what's it showing as range at the moment?
Got 4 hours it's giving us at the moment.
So 4 hours on that. So that would make a level of sense. So it's a 940 watt hour battery.
Correct.
Yeah. So pulling 200, we'd expect a good 4 hours out of that, 4.5 hopefully. And if we look down here, we've been going between about 2.8 and 3 knots, and it just changes at that moment. So this is just a standard, very old, battered Rigiflex. We haven't got excess kit with us. There's not a huge amount with us, but just the two of us. And so we'll carry on up and we'll head out into the vast reaches of the Solent,
Yes.
where adventures or utter boredom awaits.
At the moment.
So we're now out running up the main river here, and we've got the starting platform, if we can see that in the distance. So we've been coming up to this point, so we're still about 190, 200.
Yeah, we're at 190 watts, just under 200,
Yeah.
and we've got 4.5 hours runtime still from now.
Excellent.
Which is good. So yeah.
Brilliant. So what we'll do then, we'll do a run from here at about 500,
Yeah, sure.
and then we'll go up around the platform and roughly back to here and see how we go.
Okay, so I'll
Cool.
take it up.
Yeah,
to
if you want to
500
just
now.
put it up. Oh, we've got a boat in the background there coming along.
So that's 500 now,
Perfect. So
and we're showing 1 hour 40 minutes at that runtime.
that makes sense. Okay, so we've gone up to about 3.3, 3.4. So we've more than, there we go. So it's 3.4 is where it will probably settle, possibly 3.5. So we've added about half a knot
Yeah.
for more than doubling the power, which is exactly what we'd expect. These aren't particularly efficient boats. They're quite lumpy, and until they're planing, just is what it is. But this is a really good example of actually the sort of power that we can get from this, and you can definitely feel the additional thrust off that very easily. You know, you can actually feel it kicking in, but it's just the whole shape limiting it all, so we know that's fine.
The battery percentage is 92% at the moment, so
92%
we've only
now.
used 6-7% since we left the dock.
Fantastic. So we're just back on 500.
Back on 500 now,
I'm
yeah.
not sure whether that actually recorded with that, so we'll do some more down at the end.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure whether I double tapped it. So we'll just head back at 500.
Yep.
So we can see this is a decent way out. We'll be able to track all the distances off the full GPS tracker. But this will give you an idea of what the motor's capable of if you're looking at anchoring up and just taking your tender out. So obviously this is a hard shell boat, but you know, they're really not the best. So we'll be doing a separate test shortly using the various catamaran tenders that we've got, and then a really, really ropey old Waveline 230, which is possibly the worst tender in the world. That's what I spent a long time choosing it for, because that's the true test. If it pushes that around happily, it will do anything. So we're still about 500.
Yeah, bang on 500 at the moment.
Cool. So the speed's up a little bit. I think high tide is, well, it should have been in about now, so
It's going that way fast.
yeah. So we're getting a bit of help there, but we're averaging then well over 3.5 quite happily at half power. We're still on 500 watts. People heading out for a nice day, hopefully. So we'll just come along, and then we're going to change up to 1,000 watts and just see what we get with peak speed, and then we'll do some nice manoeuvring action so we can see the benefits of the wing foil shape, and then we'll do a bit of docking and again really see how useful that is in making docking a very stress-free experience. this speed reading's a bit all over the place, but we're just now going to go up for a little run at full power, heading back in. So let's just give it some stick.
Yeah, okay.
Now again, actually within the boat, you can feel the additional thrust. That was very, very significant and immediate. So what's it showing us pulling?
It's giving us 950, 980 watts.
Fantastic.
And we've got 40 minutes run time.
Brilliant. So we've definitely picked up about half a knot, much over 4 knots. But this does take some serious power for this.
Now 1060 watts, Algie.
Oh, I feel the power.
30 minutes run time. That
3 minutes run time.
At 1060
Oh my God, we're in the
watts.
shit.
Still got 30 minutes at over 1060 watts.
So we'll just leave it at that and head in as far as we can down towards the ramp, and then we'll do the manoeuvring. So we've basically been going along quite happily at 4 knots. We're still on full power. What's it showing at the moment? Still high 9s.
1020 watts.
1020 watts.
30 minutes.
We've still got 30 minutes. So we've gone all the way out to the platform at lower power, then on to medium power. And what we'll do now, we're just coming past the Royal and about. So we'll just do a little bit of slow speed manoeuvring, and then we'll do some shambolic docking.
There's a dock here, we might as well use this.
Oh yeah, great. So if we just zoom out a little bit.
Sorry?
So I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so I can just get you in more easily.
I'm going to come in on, start this side.
Oh, okay, cool.
So right now we're literally at very, very slow speed. I'm now in neutral, and as you can see, it's still steering.
Yep.
Even in neutral.
Here we go.
Nicely.
So we've still got control.
Yeah.
And then just give it a little bit of power. And then again, and we can see how much that's bringing the boat round.
And I'm still steering now, able to bring it really gently into dock.
I think that, as a demonstration, is fantastic. We'll just do another one, just to show that wasn't a fluke. And so this was our 7th attempt. Oh no, I'll edit that out. So we're just putting it fully over, and we can see we are literally turning on the spot. The control there is just fantastic, and that wing foil shape is making all the difference. So we'll come in again and just show again how straightforward manoeuvring and docking with the motor is.
So I'm going to put the boat into neutral just for a while, and even there, because it still has some way,
and we can see there
it's moving around
we're
really
steering
well.
really nicely still.
So I can just put slow pace on again. And then just steering very slowly to get into the dock. As you can see, you don't need to go in with any pace really at all. Virtually in no speed, now in neutral, steer around.
Just pulled it over, boat is just coming in beautifully.
There you go.
Even better, so that was our 17th attempt.
Honestly not.
Honestly not. So yeah, anyway, I think overall that's been a really, really valuable test for us, because we've gone probably, I think, way further than most people will ever want to, first of all.
Yeah.
We've done a good variety of speeds, and we've been making good progress the whole time. What's the power showing at the moment? How much have we got showing as a percentage?
Battery percentage is 61.
So we're not even close to half power yet, having used half the capacity of the battery, and we've done all that distance. So we can go out to the starting platform and back twice, no problem, certainly at half power. With the speed that we're doing out there, we'll measure the distances and we'll be able to then extrapolate out the ranges. Now, it has been a fairly windless, flat day, and it is high tide at the moment.
Quite a lot of tide going out.
But there's quite a lot of tide actually out there cutting across us. So This, I think, is really an ideal test for people to be able to understand what it can move. And don't forget, although this is a hard shell boat, it weighs, what, 120 odd kilos, 130 kilos. They're quite lumpy.
Quite lumpy then, yeah.
And it's moving us around, obviously, with absolutely no problem at all. So we'll just head back in now, smash through a load of the boats that are moored up there just to teach them a lesson.
Yeah.
And with the plastic fantastic, we will be damage free and they'll be on the bottom. Happy days. So we've just edited out David's little victory dance because it was embarrassing. And we've just come back in and we're moored up. So we just want to have a look again at the motor and how it works with the transom bracket, because this is really, really cool and useful feature.
So obviously we're in now, the kill cord is out and the engine is dead. So you can simply just push the tiller extension back down, switch it off if you want. The battery is out. And
we can see there's water that was in at the bottom, and as we said earlier, that's meant to be, so there's absolutely no problem with that. The connector that you can see here is up at the top and completely waterproof, so having that water at the bottom is literally no issue whatsoever.
So then the other beauty of this is you can stow the outboard half on the boat, and that's the beauty of the rotational bracket system. So with this, you can put it up, let the water drain out. There you go. So now it's up, the drawers are out. Now you can leave it like that. You can put it side on, or if you want to, you can lift it up a bit and put it on the inside of the boat like that. Or even more, you can actually put it completely
all the way in.
All the way in. It depends on obviously your transom configuration, the geometry of your transom as to how you'd like to store it. Some people put it like this, and then they obviously have a padlock system which lock it to the boat, or they tie it there so it can't rotate around. Other people push it literally, just leave it out the back like that.
But so the way that's balanced, that makes everything particularly easy.
The real beauty of it is, obviously, now I'm here, I can then take the engine off. So now the engine is actually inside the tender when I'm taking it off. So there's no danger of it actually me dropping it or falling over. So then, that's it. It's now in. And that is only 10 kilos as it is. So it's pretty light as it is.
And also with the handle where you're holding it at the top, plus being able to hold it down here as well,
so you can carry
it's very, very, very straightforward to pick up, manoeuvre about either within the boat or walking with it.
So very easy. Obviously, the only maintenance that you should do with the Temo is rinse out with fresh water like you would do any outboard every now and again.
Yep.
You can do that by putting it in a bucket and running it, or just rinsing it through with a hose as it is. Doesn't really matter. And then the battery itself has a dormancy mode in it, so you can activate that through the buttons on the top, and that means that it will actually hold its life in dormant mode, so you don't have to worry about it being left in hibernation over the winter, for example, for long periods. So with some lithium-ion batteries, you have to recharge them every so often. With this one, you can actually leave it all winter in the dormancy mode, and the battery will look after itself. Okay?
Fantastic. Well, thanks for your time, David. That has been, I think, an absolutely great test, and hopefully that gets over to everybody really how impressive this motor is and what it can do for you, whether it's a tender, whether it's a boat like this, a little Rigiflex or similar, or up towards a sport boat. And we'll be looking to do a test on some bigger boats to show what this can do with perhaps something even like a 26-foot sailing boat.
Brilliant. Thanks, Algie. Thanks very much.